simple question,
Yeah.
which I asked, and you had the time, thanks for your patience, to break it down to me. Yeah. Would you be kind enough to break that down to the audience here? $49.99.
$49.99. What does it mean? It's a coin it was a phrase that was coined by the godfather Afrobeat, Fela Kuti. 49 sitting, 99 standing. Suffering, smiling.
Absolutely.
For those who are not Nigerians, we have this transit bus which we call a molue, and it has 49 seats, right? So instead of you to have just 49 people sitting to commute to work and back, you have 49 people and you have double that standing, hanging. That just shows that's a reflection of the economy and how the imbalances where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. So the song, even though when you first listen to it, it's a great record. But it's one that you can zanku to, you can dance to. But I wanted my first global single to also have a message that we are suffering and smiling.
Let's go.
And music is a powerful tool. And I wanted a title where, be a conversation starter. What is 49.99? Which is like 49 people sitting, 99 people standing. Like we're suffering and smiling.
And quickly, the process of making the record, like, what was that like? We're gonna, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned earlier on that we will be the first group of people to watch this incredible video in the next couple of minutes. But talk to me briefly before we see it. What was the process of making the song in itself, and then the thought process behind the video?
Okay, so I was in my room, and then I got a call from Fields, the producer, and Olamide.
Yes.
Geniuses. Yes, and an amazing artist. And he said, look, I don't know, we created something, and I think you should come and listen to it. So I thought it was a song that he wanted me to feature. And when I got to the studio, I first heard the beat, and it sounded like a spaceship had just... So I just said, wait, let me sit down. And then he started like spitting melodies, and I was just like, dude, I can't sing this. He's like, nah, let's just finish writing it. So we were just bouncing off of each other, told me the concept, and we're just writing. And literally, I don't think it
Yourself
took
and
an hour.
Olamide?
Yes, myself and Olamide. Like, they didn't even take up to an hour. The song was done. And it was time for me to record it. And the beat is so different from what...
Now, as a 16, 20, 25-year-old diasporan who wanted to do music, I wanted to do African music, but was living in the diaspora, you felt the need to go back home then.
Yes.
Now, if you were a 25-year-old today living in the UK, would you still feel that same need? Do you think the diaspora is strong enough right now for you to come out and still do Afrobeat music and not necessarily relocate to the motherland, be it Nigeria, Ghana, or anywhere?
Wow. It's
$49.99.
Yes and no. I think it depends on you as an individual and how deeply rooted you are in your culture, because you can't be seen to not be authentic when you're doing Afrobeat. I think it's not easy for everybody to move back. Some people are married, some people have kids, some people just can't afford to move back. If you can, I would say it'll be very good for you. But if you can't, it's something that you have to factor into your career. You have to visit Nigeria often. You cannot do Afrobeat or be an Afrobeat artist and not soak in the culture. Like it's important, and it's changing. Like, even as an artist, if I stay out of Nigeria too long, I get back and I hear there's one dance called Zanku like that. I'm like, you have to stay updated with what's going on back then, because that's the plug. You have to always stay connected to the plug in order for you to be truly and 100% authentic. Yeah.
Christian?
Hi, Tiwa. My name is Sam. I'm a big fan since way back.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the last few weeks, in fact, maybe 3-4 weeks, a lot of bad press coming out of Nigeria.
Yes.
Foreigning, LA, Invictus, yada, yada, yada. So the country's got a lot of bad press recently. So what's your message to the young people? What's your message to young girls, especially at this time as well? And what's your message to our leaders? I think it's very important that people like you who have... So, that's my question.
Yeah. Oh, man, listen, we, as everybody, even to our leaders, we only have one Africa, right? One great thing that I noticed when I was living in America was like, you know, the African Americans felt like they didn't have an escape. But us, you know, worst case, if things don't work out, I'm going back. That's, you know, the African Americans don't really feel like they have that. Even though they do, they don't feel like they have a home. But we have a home. What are we doing with it? You know, and we only have that one continent. We only have that. And it's so rich in culture. Like, and it's not just, I don't even think we really have to wait for the politicians or government. We can be a positive beacon wherever we are as Africans. You know, we just have to make sure the good outweighs the bad. Every continent, every country has good and bad. It's not specific to Nigerians. It's not specific to Africans. It's just that I don't think that we are promoting the good stuff enough. And if we leave it for the outsiders, they're going to just say what they want to say, which is to paint us bad. So it is our job to, and we are enough in number. You know, we are enough to change the narrative. Especially, you know, you mentioned African women, African girls, like, yeah, I think they're probably one of the strongest species. It's important, I feel, for us to balance our tradition as we're trying to be modern. I think it's also important to still retain some of those things that our mothers taught us, because that's really what differentiates us from every other slave mama out there.